Heyo YouTube friends, it's time for another video. I prepared a build showcase for you for a really nasty M+ build. Before I get into it though, I want to say thank you very much for the views, the positive comments, the guys that wrote me in game saying that they liked my last build. I really appreciate it, a lot. So yeah, for now this time I do have a banger of a build. It turned out to be better than I was expecting at first, as was planned as a meme build and turned out to be really good. And what it is a Hydromancer melee hybrid, which is absolutely crazy. Like, think about it. You can see in the background that the build, despite sounding like a meme, does actually pretty well. With the clip that you can see in the background is a Mana Tom's key plus 22, I think it was, and I think I did pretty well there. Quick disclaimer at the start, most of the video clips that I used in the background are from last week's M+ runs, and they were with the corpse explosion affix, so I couldn't actually pump as much as I wanted to without ripping my group, so keep that in mind if you see the numbers. I think I still could do quite a lot of damage despite me also dispelling a lot of the corpse juice and having to let off the gas quite a bit in order to not rip the group with corpse explosions. But yeah, it actually does very well. Now I got asked a lot by my friends how I came up with this idea and why I would ever play that, and so I figured I will share the story of how I got to this build and why I built it. So I did an M+, I think 2 weeks ago with some friends, and I was playing a Stormborn build and my friend was playing a Booming Thunder build. Now if you ever played M+ in the past weeks, you know that Booming Thunder is an absolute monster there, and basically you kinda can't compete with that build. And so my Stormborn build got smoked damage wise by the Booming Thunder player, and I was looking at the details after the M+ run and asked myself, what does the Booming Thunder build have that my build doesn't? And I looked at it and it was pretty clear. It was using Forked Lightning, and Forked Lightning added so much AoE damage, I thought I had to incorporate this into my Stormborn build. And that was my idea. I tried making a Stormborn build that can utilize Forked Lightning together with Endless Lightning. The combination of these two REs actually provides an endless amount of AoE damage. It's absolutely crazy. So that was my idea. I wrote a Stormborn build. I tried incorporating Forked Lightning, but I failed. The thing about it is, when you want to use Forked Lightning and Chain Lightning in general, you need to make room for a lot of REs, for a lot of talent points, and overall the build is just very different to what a Stormborn build would normally be. So I kinda didn't manage to make a good Stormborn build with Forked Lightning because there was just no possible way. I saw no possible way without actually pricking the build in its core. So I thought about it and I looked at my Stormborn build and I was like, yeah, if I can't play Stormborn, I have to find a new legendary RE, a different legendary RE, and I just gonna throw away the Stormstrike completely. And that was the idea. The first thing I looked at was actually not Hydromancer, but Astral Tempest, I think it's called. The legendary RE that spawns like little lightning clouds above the enemies after you stacked it up. But it turns out you can't stack Astral Tempest up with Stormgarde, which I'm using a lot in this build, like Slam, Stormgarde. You can't get stacks for Astral Tempest with that, so it just doesn't work. And you also only get 1 stack per Chain Lightning, not multiple stacks, which I was hoping for. So no, Astral Tempest did absolutely not work, so I was browsing through the list of legendary enchants there is that have some kind of interaction with Chain Lightning, and I actually remembered something when I looked at Hydromancer. In the last balance patch a few weeks ago, there was actually a change to Hydromancer which stated that each hit of Chain Lightning now reduces the cooldown of Water Nova from the Hydromancer by 1 second. Now this doesn't sound like much, but it's actually huge. After I tested it out, it turned out to be great. The thing is, if you combine Chain Lightning with Endless Lightning and of course with Overload, you can reduce the cooldown of Water Nova by an insane amount, so you can spam it. It's crazy, and this works very well. Let's take 1 second here to explain what the actual Hydromancer enchant does, because it's super underused and I don't think everybody knows about it. So you get this extra spell that's called Water Nova on top of Water Bolt, which is a transformation from Frostbolt, and both of these water spells will douse the enemy target. They will be drenched in water basically. And your hits from Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning will then electrocute those targets, dealing extra damage. And this is the cool thing about it. With Water Nova you can douse a whole group of enemies and then you can electrocute them all at the same time with a single Chain Lightning, dealing a lot of damage. And as I already said, the Chain Lightning hits will reduce the cooldown of Water Nova, which would normally be 30 seconds, but it gets reduced a lot, so you can use it constantly. Another cool side effect is that if you electrocute an enemy standing within the Water Nova itself will be electrified and deal a little dot damage to all enemies standing inside of it. But that's not too much, nothing to write home about. The main thing is really the electrocute effect, which adds significant damage to each of your Chain Lightning. So you might already see where this is going. The build has an absurd amount of AoE damage, but it's lagging a little bit on the single target side of things. I tried mitigating this with my skill choices, my talent choices a little bit, but in the end I can't really push beyond like 11k single target on the training dummy. Which is okay from an M+ build, but it's not that crazy. Speaking of skill and talent choices, of course I will leave the build on the Architect over on Thrall, so you can have a closer look and I don't have to go through all of that in detail right now. I will though talk about a few key skills and talents that I am using and why. First of all, of course, Lightning Shield, you need that because of Stormgarde. Stormgarde is the core RE for this build. It turns Slam into a spammable ability that does AoE damage, AoE nature damage, which fits the build and also the theme of the build just really well. Then I'm also using Slice and Dice. This is mostly there for single target because I already said that the build is lacking single target and Slice and Dice helps with that a little bit at least. Now the problem I had to fix when playing this build was mana consumption. The thing is that the Chain Lightning with 3 Endless Lightning enchants costs I think around 700 mana per use and we're spamming it every 2.5 seconds. So I'm actually using Seal of Wisdom, I am using a talent point in Battle Mage, I'm using Moonkin form just to recover enough mana, and I still run dry on mana sometimes. So I recommend a lot getting another mana cooldown. I actually use Dark Pact at the moment, which I just got randomly, but it works surprisingly well. It turns my imp into a mana battery, basically. Other options there are Brilliance Aura, Shamanistic Rage, Mana Tide Totem. There's a lot of mana management going on, and you definitely should pick up one of those if you want to play the build. In terms of gear, I use pure caster spell power gear. I think this makes the most sense with this build because most of the damage comes from Chain Lightning and also from Stormgarde, which scales way better with spell power than with attack power here. There's nothing special about my gear, I don't want to show it off piece by piece again. Just one thing that is really important, and that is Romulus Poison Vial. Now the build works obviously without this item, but this one adds a lot of single target, which is, as I said, the part where the build lags. Romulus Poison Vial actually scales very well with spell power and with attack speed, which are both stats that this build tries to scale anyways. And you will notice on single target encounters that this trinket actually makes up for quite a good percentage of your overall damage. I don't think I have to talk about the rotation of this build, because as you can see in the footage, I'm just spamming Slam and Chain Lightning and that's it. Of course I use Water Nova whenever it's off cooldown, and I try to reduce the cooldown of Chain Lightning through talents and REs to the point where I can use it every third global at least. So that means I'm just using Slam, Slam, Chain Lightning and over again. It's a really simple build, but still quite satisfying to play, and the performance speaks for itself, I think. Alright, with that I'm already at the end of my little build showcase for my melee, hybrid, M+, Hydromancer, whatever. If you have any questions, if I forgot anything, let me know in the comments and I will try to answer them all. If you liked this video or any of my other ones, really hit that subscribe button, it would help grow my little YouTube channel a lot. And other than that, thank you very much for watching to this point and see you in the next video. Goodbye.